It's time for Coffee with Kristin and Tina. Good morning and welcome to Coffee with Kristin and Tina. We're your hosts. I'm Tina Prigge of Vagabond Creative Studio. This is Kristin Odell of KLO LLC. So glad to see you this morning.
Good morning. We've got our big mugs.
Cheers, clink.
I'm going to do it wrong.
Yeah, right. It doesn't, yeah.
Clink.
There we go.
There you go. The clinking makes me think of, have you seen Minions where, I think it's in the first one, he's playing Tea Party with the little, Gru is playing Tea Party with the little girls, and he says, and you clink the glasses.
Cute. I have not seen those in a long time. I believe you that happened, but I couldn't have told you that it happened if you hadn't reminded me.
Go back and watch it. It's very cute.
Yeah. Do you find that happens though? Like as you get distance from a movie or a show, the details get like fuzzier?
I mean, I think that naturally happens. Also, just because of the way my brain works. I think we've talked about this before. I'm an achiever. This is my strengths profile, what I do. And typically once something is done, then it's gone. Like, okay, I've done that and I've done it very well and now we're finished. Goodbye. And then, so unless it's like a very meaningful family memory, I do not retain it.
Right. So if there's no reason to occupy that space, retaining it, out it goes.
Out you go. Into the trash.
Then we clink. Cute. Yeah, we just recently rewatched Wall-E, which is such an adorable film. And we used to watch it like on repeat when my son was small. And then recently he's like, I don't really remember that movie. Can we watch it again? And there was so much too that I had forgotten. I was like, have I seen this movie before?
Right. Yeah, it's the other thing, and I'm sure there's other parents who can understand this and appreciate this. For a long time, the girls watched movies in the car and I would listen to them. So I would know like all the lines and the music, but I had never actually seen the movie.
Funny. Did it ever surprise you then when you'd see the visuals? Like,
yeah.
That's not what I imagined.
Right. Or that I didn't think the character was going to look like that. Or I would be singing the words and girls would be like, how do you know the words to this? And I'm like, well, I've been listening to it in the car. That was when the girls were little and like headphones didn't fit or they wouldn't keep them on. Then we would just play it on the radio. Now I have the benefit that, first of all, just so you all know, we have a rule, no movies inside the city limits.
Oh.
So like if we are traveling around town, we don't play movies in the car. Like you can handle being in the car for however much time. But if we're hitting the road, doing something, then it's game on. So, and they watch the headphones now, so I don't have to listen anymore.
Does that mean too that they each watch their individual movies, or are they all watching the same thing?
They just watch the same.
That's cool.
They watch.
Well, let's talk about these adorable girls. At first, Kristin, when I saw this picture, I'm like, oh, Grace is missing, but Grace is in the picture and you took it. Oh my gosh, she just reminds me so much of you, Kristin.
Oh, that is Grace in there. Yeah, so we had the pleasure of going to Peninsula State Park this week for Father's Day for a long weekend. We actually camped until Monday, which was really, really nice. And there's a lot of meaning behind this. First of all, it's Father's Day. Doug is a wonderful father to our girls. I just love the example that he set. So it was very meaningful that we got to spend the whole day camping and having fun. But the other thing is, so first of all, this is the new tower at Peninsula State Park, which is in Door County. It is completely handicap accessible. There is a ramp that you can walk all the way up. So we saw people in wheelchairs and people with strollers and different things. It makes it so accessible so people can get to the top of this tower. And here's why it's meaningful. Doug is terrified of heights. And he would never have walked up the steps on this tower and been able to do it. But because it was a ramp and it was gradual, we walked up and he was like, I'm at the top. And I'm like, you totally did it. So he did not walk to the edge. He sat on this bench. He totally did it. He got to take in the views and he did amazing. I'm really proud of him.
That is awesome. And it does look like it's quite high up. It looks like you're at treetop level.
Yes. Oh yeah. It's beautiful. It's not if any of you have been to Peninsula before, it's not as tall as the old tower was. But it's a really, really cool experience. And I love that everybody can enjoy the experience.
Yeah, me too. That's really cool to know. So it's in Peninsula State Park?
It's in Peninsula State Park. Yep.
So as long as you have a state park sticker, you can go in. Is there an additional fee to climb the tower?
Nope. Nope. So if
Cool.
you have an annual sticker or you can buy I think the day passes are like $8 or $9, but yes, in that park there's so many amazing hiking trails, biking trails, playgrounds, just places to pull over and picnic and take in the views. It just was a really beautiful weekend.
I have not been there in a long time. So what did you see from the top of the tower? What was the view like?
Oh my gosh. I mean, you can just see the bay, you can see all the little islands. We could see all these boats in the harbor of Ephraim. So it kind of like looks over Ephraim. And just we had beautiful weather. So just taking in the blue skies, there's the whole thing was amazing.
Was it cooler at the top or no temperature change? Yes, it was.
Cooler at the top, but we had a really like nice weekend. I think Saturday was probably maybe low 70s and sunny. Sunday was about the same. And then Monday we got up and it had started getting hotter, but we had to pack up to come home that day. So that was okay. But
Yeah. Yeah, really good that we did not have yesterday and Monday's weather while you
right.
were there. Sunday
Yes.
was just so pleasant. It allowed us to be outside and have a picnic.
Yeah.
Um, Here's a
And you,
picture of us loving up on my dad for Father's Day.
oh, he's so cute. I love it. I love that you're like eyeing the camera too. That is very cute. What did you guys do to celebrate Father's Day?
It was super chill. Jason prepared, he grilled out, and my parents came over, and we just hung out outside, had kind of a picnic, sat around, had coffee. It was just so relaxed. It was perfect. It was
Yeah.
perfect. Without really doing anything, it was
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah. That I mean, that I feel like even though we were camping, we had a similar experience. Well, first of all, oh, good morning,
I
Tim.
love hugs. I completely agree.
She's the best hugger. Um, on Father's Day, I slept in until 10 to 10. I have not done that in forever. And I woke up and I was like, oh my gosh. And I walked out of the camper and Doug is like, how was that? And I was like, amazing. They were grilling cheddar dogs because we had missed the window of time for breakfast. They were beyond what we were going to make like a big pot of oatmeal. And he's like, we're grilling cheddar dogs for breakfast. I got you covered.
It's like such a perfect dad thing to do, don't you think?
Right? I agree. The girls thought it was great. But we then grilled pork tenderloin and veggies over the fire and kind of the same thing. Like it was a laid back day with perfect weather.
Yeah, and no obligations. It was fantastic. And thankfully, the weather was nice because earlier that week it was not. And thankfully, where we are, there was minimal damage, if any. But I know that some people really were affected. And I hope everybody is okay. But Kristen, you shared this picture after the storm, and it is just beautiful. So, for all of the fury and the storminess of the storm, look at this afterwards, those
I know.
perfect droplets on those leaves.
Right. This is just in our backyard. So that would have been like I don't know when I texted you this, Tina. I want to say it was last Wednesday or Thursday morning, maybe, because Wednesday night I think it rained. Did it rain Wednesday night?
Let's see. I'm just going to look back really quick. When
I
did
feel
you
like I would
send?
have had this to you on Tuesday for the show or Wednesday for the show last week. But anyway,
Thursday morning. Yep.
morning. So I got home from the gym Thursday morning and I had walked outside to do a couple of things and pick because stuff's blowing around. And I just noticed we had all of these. What kind of plants are these, Tina? These are the ones that have the long things that come out. I'm so bad with plants.
It kind of looks like it might be a daylily or a
Yeah,
lily of some
I do
kind.
think it is. Yeah. So these are just very full, beautiful green plants. But yeah, all these little droplets were just all over it. And they were on the grass. I tried to get a picture of the grass too, but I couldn't. But it just was so pretty and all these little perfect drops. And then they were sparkling in the sun because the sun was up finally on Thursday. And
Yeah. I'm so glad that you shared it and that you appreciated it because it is one of those things, if you look at it, it is like the perfect set of factors need to come together in order for this result to happen, right?
Right.
Like if it's just a sunny day, it's not going to happen. If it's in the middle of the rain, you're not going to see it. So like you had this small window of opportunity to encounter it and appreciate it.
Right. Right. Exactly. It was worth taking in.
Hey, so you also shared this pretty picture. I don't know what these are. Do you know what they are? Or viewers, do you know what this is?
No, so again, I'll just say it for the record. I'm terrible with plants. These are in our landscaping. They're gorgeous. So the same morning I snapped the other one, these were blooming. And I just, first of all, I love kind of the toned down color of the leaves. It's almost like these were created so that the pink would stand out when they bloomed.
Right,
Um,
right.
so maybe again, somebody knows my yard plants better than I know my own yard plants, but they were very pretty. I love the hot pink.
They're very pretty too. Do they bloom most of the year, or is it a short window and then they're done?
Yeah, they're blooming now. They're still pink now, so I think we get like a couple of weeks, and then they're just this kind of, like I said, kind of maroon and green color, which is still
Hmm.
pretty against kind of the darker mulch.
Yeah, and it's interesting that you notice that the leaves are like that darker hue. You can almost see like a purple running through them, and it
Right.
really accents the pink.
Right.
Okay, viewers, who knows something about plants? Who knows what this is? They kind of look like bell-shaped or trumpet-shaped blossoms.
Yeah, I
So
feel like this is a fairly common plant. Like I don't. This is not likely something that is unique, but
like I feel like is it foxglove or ladyfingers or pinks or something? Somebody knows. Somebody please tell us. What are we looking at?
somebody somewhere knows.
Hey, speaking of colors, I feel really fortunate. Connie Heinzen shared some of her recent swag. If you know me and Kristin, well, we've talked about this before too, how much we love office supplies, and a good pen makes all the difference. And she got some new pens, and what I love is they write in this easy flowing black ink, but they're accented by these different bright colors. And so I was just tickled pink to have these cool new pens.
I think those look very fancy, and I love the color. My first thought was, "Ooh, is the ink that color?"
That would be cool.
Which would be really fun. Um, but my second thought was, you can never pass up a good writing pen.
It's so true, and especially when it looks good. Like, there it's important that it writes good first and foremost, but if it looks good and writes good, it is like the dream.
It is. It's like a home run. Do you and Jason have a favorite pen, or do you have coolest coast pens that you share?
You know what? I would love to know, people's recommendations for this type of swag, and I was meaning to ask Connie because we did get some, and, we ordered them online and they looked cool, but they were awful. They were awful. They literally like, you might write with them a couple of times and they could explode, right? Like suddenly you just have I was like, "These are terrible." They were such a letdown.
Oh, well, I have what I'm going to call is some favorite pens, and they're my KLO pens.
Ooh.
They're not super fancy. They do have a nice grip, which I personally enjoy. But I think, I was thinking about this, Tina. I think these are from Fort Imprint, which is
Okay,
out
I know that.
of Oshkosh area. And like I said, they're not fancy, but here's what I can tell you. This was the original pens I bought like 7 years ago. And then I rebought them in a different color when I went through branding, same 4 or 5 years ago. But I'm still using these pens. Like these have not run out and they
That is
write nice.
awesome. What
So
color do they write?
they're blue ink.
Blue, okay.
I think you can get them in black. I think there's an option, but they've
Mm,
lasted forever, forever and ever. And
that's amazing.
so, yeah, I'm almost due to reorder again, and I have a new look coming. So stay tuned for that. But I will probably reorder if they're still available. I'm going to order them again.
And tell viewers, so you've got kind of a cool method for using different colored pens in your business.
Yeah. So as many of you know, I do coaching with people. I work primarily with their strengths, but a lot of things. Everybody has goals and things they're working on. And so what I like to do is when I'm in a coaching meeting, I typically will take notes in black or blue the first time. And then as we're following up each month and going through, I a lot of times will make notes in another color. So like I have a couple of coaching sessions today. I'm going to take this red pen with me and I'll make a note. Today is June 22nd and it's red. So when I look back at my notes, I know on June 22nd, my notes were in red and I can follow along with the progress of the client and how things are going. And it's just kind of a nice way for me to keep my brain organized and for things to be visual because I always think colors make things visual.
And to have fun with pens.
Yeah, to have fun with pens.
I do think that office supplies can make a big difference in, being organized and productivity and efficiency, but it's also so disappointing when they're subpar. And so that attention to detail makes all the difference.
Right, right. I agree. I also use different colored like file folders.
Oh, yeah.
So like if I'm recruiting on a position, I will put that in a colored folder. Sometimes that color is related to the client, like all of this client are going to be red as an example. Because that again, like if I'm looking for something on my desk, not that my desk is disorganized, but like visually I'm like, okay, this client is red. Here's all my red folders. And it just, for me, that helps me keep my brain straight.
These are solid gold tips of organization. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Which you can use in your personal life, by the way. You don't have to just use them just for work, but
Right.
yeah.
Right. Hey, do you know what I learned just this past week? That there is another winery right here in Manitowoc. It's in Newton. Are you familiar with it?
No, tell us more.
It's called Four Christies, and it's a husband and wife and their family, and they had 30 acres and tried to decide what to do, and they had this love of wine, and they did all this research, and so for the past 10 years, they've been growing the vines, and now they're harvesting and bottling their own wine, and what's kind of interesting is, like, one of the varieties is the Marquette grape, and so right on the bottle too, it's got, like, this label that tells you what the variety is so that you know if you enjoy it, what variety to be on the lookout for, what to come back and reorder. And I was just fascinated to know that right here on the coolest coast, it's kind of becoming wine country.
Right. Well, I mean, it makes sense to me. A lot of the places where there is a wine country, it is water, coastal soil. So if you think about like Napa and you think about some of these places, Willamette Valley and Oregon, like all of them are typically on coastlines. Not that that's a requirement. I'm not a perfect wine connoisseur, by the way. But I do love this. So do they have like a tasting room or an event space there?
They don't, not at this time. They do sell it in different places locally, I guess. But he was saying that, the factors, the environmental factors, like their proximity to the lake and their soil and the weather that we have, all gives the grapes a specific flavor profile. And
Yeah.
he said, so Solarian Vineyard is also in Manitowoc County, and that's out on like Hilltop Road, I want to say. I might be getting that wrong, but a little further inland. And he said it's so interesting and that they love to visit each other's vineyards and sample it because even though there's only like a 10-mile distance between them,
Mhm.
there's different flavors based on the soil and the weather and what's happening.
Yes, I totally get that. That is really exciting and really cool.
Yeah. So I just learned that. I love learning new stuff. Didn't know if you or viewers were aware of that. So I had
I
to
was
share.
not. And I would also say we've been to Solarian for live music and it's so much fun and it's a beautiful event space out there. So just a selfless plug for them
Yeah.
to go check it out.
Yeah. And it's amazing. It's amazing to like work the land and to see that harvest come to fruition. And
Right. Yeah, it has to be a labor of love, right? Because it is a lot of work. Any type of farming is a lot of work, let's be honest. Right? And so most of the people that do it because they genuinely love it.
right, right. And in this day and age, it's no longer stomping the grapes, it's crushing the grapes. In case you're looking for the right lingo, I didn't quite have it. I was like, so when do you stomp the grapes? And I meant crush, but
Are you
similar.
thinking about Lucille Ball?
I was. Exactly.
Everybody younger than us is now saying, "Who's Lucille Ball?" everybody older than us is going, yeah, great.
Hey, we had a unique opportunity. We went up to a Blizzards game in Green Bay. I had never been before. I didn't know exactly what to expect. I knew it was some kind of football, but it's arena football, which is essentially distinct from like NFL football.
Yes.
Super fun, really jazzed up environment. It was fun, like learning kind of the different rules and the different plays happening, even though I probably did more chatting than game watching.
It's we have been to a game before and it is really fun. So it's kind of a mini field.
Yeah.
For those of you who've never been, it's a smaller field and the field goal post is also like smaller and more narrow. And there is a couple of different rules and a lot of scoring.
A lot of scoring, and I couldn't quite figure it out, like, what the scoring was, but
Maybe they had to do with the visiting.
yeah, it's true. It is where I learned about the vineyard, so, it wasn't in vain.
Okay. But yeah, I feel like it's a really fun family activity. I think you can get tickets fairly reasonably. Like I don't think it's super expensive to go, but it is a fun kind of indoor thing. And they're in Green Bay for those of you who are not familiar. They play at the Rush Center.
Yeah, and you know what? There were tons of kids, and it's interesting because, quite frequently in the game, they'd take a quick break, and all of a sudden there'd be some mini game happening on the field. Like there were kids with a huge toothbrush, like brushing a monster's teeth, and like there were dollar bills or something, and every dollar bill they scrubbed off, right? Or like there was something that happened with like a huge, huge beach ball. It was people, teams against each other trying to get it down the field. Like all these little mini games popped up, so it was really fun for the audience.
Yeah, it's just kind of entered. It sounds like that happens probably during timeouts or something like that. Like how fun to fill the time and have entertainment happening at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very
So another experience that I hadn't had before, but I would give it a thumbs up.
fun. That's super fun.
Yeah. All right, Kristen, I also want to give this picture that you sent me a total thumbs up. This picture is gorgeous.
Thanks. I really took it with my very professional phone.
Mhm.
Uh, this is on, so there's a little kayak launch at Peninsula State Park. Trying to think about what it's called. I'll come up with it. It starts with a T. Tennyson Bay. This is Tennyson Bay Kayak Launch. And I think this must have been Saturday night. We decided to kind of go for a after dinner bike ride, and we biked down there with the group we were with. And yeah, isn't it like so just relaxing and calm?
It is so beautiful. I love how you can see like the pebbled river rock,
Yeah,
right up close. And then it almost looks like there's no water on them, but you know that it is, right? And then how it goes back and you see the reflection and just the clouds and even the position of the sun is perfect.
right. And here's a fun fact: to the left is an island, but that strip of black land on the other side, that's like Marinette.
Oh,
So we were having a debate filled discussion about what these landforms are because there's islands all kind of little all around there. And Doug got his phone out and he's like, "Nope, that's northern Wisconsin over there." Because it was so clear and so calm, we could see across. And I guess my understanding it's only like 15 miles or something like that.
wow.
Isn't that
Yeah,
cool?
it actually seems really close. Like you could kayak there.
Right. I mean, maybe you could. I don't know. But I mean, you wouldn't want to be. So, one of the cool things is some of the people that we were with had kayaks and they went out at like 5 o'clock that night. And the water was so calm that they did not come back until 9 o'clock at night. They went super far and then turned around and came back because it was just such a beautiful night and the water was so calm. We did not have that calm of water all the rest of the weekend. It was just like that one evening was perfect.
So is that in a location where under other conditions there would be waves slapping on the shore?
Yep. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So
That's extra lucky. So you've had some really fortuitous encounters with nature this past week.
we did. Like I said, it was stunning. So let's see. I'm trying to think. Forgive me.
Is that your Wisconsin map?
Yeah, this is my Wisconsin map. If I can get this. This is like where we were here. And then this is like Marinette over here.
Oh, I get it.
You get it?
Well, thank goodness you had that map because that makes
Door
it all clear. And
County.
I'm not joking. I'm not joking. That's
This is
awesome.
the Door County. I'm sorry for all of you map people who I'm doing a horrible job, but yeah. So we were like on the thumb, and then Marinette is like across the way.
Aw, somewhere a cartographer just rolled over in his grave. But I think in Wisconsin, we are incredibly lucky that we do have this map. Oh, nope, like this, right? This map that goes with us.
Do you see why it was hard?
Yeah. Should we try clinking our glasses again?
I gotta switch hands. You guys, this is left-handed moving to the right in order for me to get this right. Do we understand why this is complicated?
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. It's so strange how the mirror view,
I know.
but it's not a mirror view because if you look behind me, it says coolest coast. It's not.
I know.
So
Very weird.
yeah.
Hey, I just want to mention one thing because it is Wednesday and I am 99.9% sure there is night market tonight, night market 920. Live music downtown in the Wharf parking lot, Balloon Go parking lot, right downtown Manitowoc. So I just wanted to mention that because it's one of their special nights tonight.
Yeah, right across from the public library. That's gonna be fun. What time does night market get started?
I don't know. I have to look it up. I want to say it's like 5 or 6. I think there's food trucks down there, and I know. Here, give me 1 second, and I'll have that answer for you. I should have queued this up.
Well,
Um,
while Kristen's looking that up, I'll just give you a quick public service announcement. There's a used book sale at the library this weekend, June 24th through the 26th. They haven't had one for a couple of years due to COVID, so this is going to be awesome.
yeah. Okay. So tonight, Wednesday, June 22nd, Smoke Road is playing. That is the band. It starts at 5 o'clock and it's open until 9:30. So there's, I know online if you go on probably Girl It Forward or Night Market 920, you can find the list of food trucks. But there's 3 nights: one in June, one in July, and one in August. So I just searched Night Market 920. You guys can see that.
Awesome.
So it's going to be a beautiful night.
Yeah, that's perfect. I'm so glad you brought that up. It's so cool that that type of stuff is happening right
Yeah.
here where we live.
I think this is like the 4th year or 3rd year of that event, which is really nice. So
Yeah. And in case you don't know, it's an absolutely free event. I mean, if you purchase something, food, beverages, things like that, of course there's a cost, but to go down and enjoy the music and explore the festival, it is free admission.
yep. Yep, for sure.
Cool. Kristen, always a pleasure talking to you.
Same to you, hon. Have an awesome day. Enjoy the Lakeshore, ladies and gentlemen.
All right. Thanks for watching Coffee with Kristen and Tina. We'll see you next time.